Hello guys, and welcome to another profile tree video. So in today's video we're going to be looking at the different points we can do to resolve there has been a critical error on this website. So without further ado, we're going to go ahead and get started. So you've finally done a WordPress website build and everything has went well and you've published it and deployed it. However, this is the sort of error message that you're getting. There's actually a couple of steps that you can take to diagnose and address this issue. So the first one being, which is to actually check the error message. Now make sure that you examine the specific error message displayed on the website. Now it may provide an insight or valuable information about the nature of the problem. Common error messages include HTTP error codes, PHP error messages, or database related errors. So make sure you double check and see what these error messages are. Now, the thing that I found helpful or most helpful is to actually copy and paste the error message that you're getting, then paste them onto the actual browser, and you should be able to find the answer straight away. Now, Stack Overflow usually has the Q&As, and that's perfect because that's pretty much a community group and they're there to help you out. They can usually give you a solution to your problem if you just post it into the group, or if there's already an answered question, then take a look at how they ended up resolving it. Usually there's more than 1,000 answers towards that depending on how old the actual post or issue is. So our next one there is to actually check the web server logs. Now access the server logs such as Apache error logs or Nginx error logs, and this will enable you to find out more detailed information about the error. Server logs can often contain error messages and clues that will help identify the actual issue. And just to demonstrate how to actually do that, open up your XAMPP control panel or your Apache control panel. Start it, check the logs, check the error log. You could see what part and what time of the day has actually had an issue. So that's how you'll be able to detect it. And then all you would need to do is copy and paste the error or the suspected error online, repeat the process that we looked at earlier on, and that should hopefully get you on the right track. So our next one there is to actually check the web server logs. Now access the server logs such as Apache error logs or Nginx error logs, and this will enable you to find out more detailed information about the error. Server logs can often contain error messages and clues that will help identify the actual issue. And just to demonstrate how to actually do that, open up your XAMPP control panel or your Apache control panel. Start it, check the logs, check the error log. You could see what part and what time of the day has actually had an issue. So that's how you'll be able to detect it. And then all you would need to do is copy and paste the error or the suspected error online, repeat the process that we looked at earlier on, and that should hopefully get you on the right track. Now, another possible factor is to review the recent changes. If you feel like you've made some major changes to the site or even some minor changes, just double check whether the error has occurred through that. So it could be as simple as updating the themes, plugins, or even doing some code modifications. So just consider reverting those changes, make sure you and see if there is any error that is resolved after that. And sometimes incompatibilities or conflicts can cause critical errors. So if a plugin hasn't been updated as well, that could cause some sort of issue or error. So just make sure to double check that as well. Now, another thing that you can do is to actually disable the plugins or themes. So they may be a temporary fix for the issue. So temporarily deactivate all the plugins and maybe switch to a default theme. So 2021 is the default theme for WordPress, and just check and see whether the error is caused by a specific plugin or theme. Overall, if you are doing your own custom plugin or theme, there will be some issue in the code. So that could be the result as to why you're getting that sort of error code on WordPress. And you're less likely to actually have an error code with 2021. So if the error is resolved, then reactivate the plugins and themes one by one just to identify the culprit. And hopefully by then, if you do detect that specific plugin has an issue, you can either try to update it or completely disable it and look for another alternative. And also another thing that you may want to think about doing is to actually deactivate plugins that's unnecessary for the website. So if you're using maybe WP migration, you may want to try to delete that anyway. If you're only trying to migrate the site to another area, then just consider deleting it, as it may have or cause an issue for it. So another thing that you can do is to actually check the PHP version and error reporting. Now, ensure that the website is using a compatible PHP version. Check the PHP error report settings to display detailed error messages on the screen, just to quickly identify what exactly the issue is. Now, this can provide insights into the root cause of the problem. And that also leads to testing the database connection as well. So as well as error reporting, make sure you test the database connection. So if the website relies on a database, so MySQL, verify that the database connection details in the website's configuration file is actually linked, and make sure that the database server is running and accessible. So that's one of your possible errors in error reporting, which is to test the database connection, and also check the server resource limits as well on top of that. So make sure that you have enough resources on your server. That's like your memory, your CPU, and your SSD, things like that, just to handle the website's demands. Resource limitations can, of course, cause critical errors, which then gives you possible error messages. So guys, that's pretty much the full circle. However, if you did take some of these steps and it didn't work, then there are some other alternatives that you can do, which is maybe try to use a different web browser. Sometimes on the Google browser or Firefox browser or Microsoft Edge browser, the website isn't working. So depending where you're running WordPress from, whether it be it's local and you're using a web server like Nginx, then just double check it, make sure that there's no issues through that with the use of web browser. Also check your actual control panel, make sure that everything is linked properly. So that can be another alternative to your issue. Maybe check your PHP version, as we've stated earlier on. So if you're on local as well, you're able to actually double check the PHP version. So my one, as you can see, is on 7.4.3. So it's more or less the updated version. So just double check on that. Check the database version as well. So whether it's the highest and most up-to-date version there. Also check your WordPress version. So that as well could be your issue. Then, of course, what you can do as well is you can clear the cache. So clear any server-side caches, such as opcode caches or object caches, as well as browser caches. Sometimes cache data can cause conflicts or outdated content to be served. You can restore from backup if all else fails. So website's completely not working. Maybe you need to start again. That's why it's important to always back up your site. So restore it to its previous working state, and that'll be the best way to eliminate any issues just maybe save some of the most recent code that you've got and apply it onto there. And then that's when you can start to determine whether your code actually has an issue on your WordPress website. And lastly, if you're completely stuck and you don't know what else to do, then you can seek professional help. So if you're unable to diagnose or resolve the critical error, that's when you should consider seeking assistance from experienced web developers or the hosting provider support team. They may have additional tools and expertise to pinpoint and fix the problem. So there you have it, guys. That is it for the video. So that is a couple of ways in fixing the error message. There has been a critical error for this site. If you find this video helpful, please do leave us a comment in the comment section below. But other than that, I'll see you guys for the next video. Thank you very much for watching.